we just had our first satellite camp ever. We voted as a group of head coaches that at the SEC level that, satellite camps divide us. They take us off our campus. But if we're going to do it, certainly we're going to do it well. And for us, LSU, it's Louisiana first, and that's on our shirts. It's been the view of our program, and not a lot of change. And so we came in here. Great facilities, 3 wonderful fields, and we were concerned that maybe the weather would kind of give us a stiff blow, but it kind of calmed down, and we had an overcast day. It was really cool and a little bit of rain, but very enjoyable afternoon. Campers had a great camp, a lot of energy, and right around 500 high school age football players. So it was really a successful day. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed being first in Northwest Louisiana.
Yeah, why'd you make this stop?
We had a feel that we needed to be up in Northwest Louisiana for all of the right reasons. The reasons of Jacob Hester and Andrew Whitworth and the great many of Brandon Harris, Davis White, Devin White, and on and on and on. How many really great players that we've had at Louisiana State that have come from Northwest Louisiana. So we're here. We enjoyed it, and it was the first. It was the first satellite camp in LSU history, and we were in Shreveport.
You started out the Tiger Tour last year up here too. You feel like the high school coaches in the area are seeing you guys are taking North Louisiana as seriously as anyone
I don't
else?
think that they've ever thought it any other way, to be honest with you. I think they recognize that we have always had a real priority with this part of the state. And I mean, if you'd come, you'd have seen all those guys. The Jacob Hester, they came out of the woodwork to be here.
What was the energy like with the kids? Obviously, this is a big deal for them. What did you feel from them out there?
They participated. They improved. We worked technique. It was an instructional camp. They competed. I felt like it was a really successful day. If I'm a camper or I'm a parent of a camper, they'll be tired tonight.
And do they have a lot they can take home and work on from this camp as well?
Absolutely, yeah. And we've invited them to Baton Rouge. They can certainly continue the teaching and continue the thought process and continue to compete, in our camps as well.
What do you think it means to some of those campers to see guys like Brandon and Jacob Hester?
Well, you know what? It's interesting. They ask questions, and some of the campers were kind of stayed. And, these guys are bigger than life, some, but they enjoyed some of the answers. Like for Stravius White stood up there and said, "Listen, you got to get up. You got to work hard. You got to starts early, and you go till about 2 o'clock, and then you go to the weight room, and then you eat dinner, and then at 7 you study, and then." He says, "So it's hard." And then I asked him. I was not necessarily, supposed to ask. I said, "So what's your current GPA?" He says, "I have a 3.3, and he said, "And I just want you to know something. If you're going to have success, you're going to work hard." So then he then went back and reviewed that exact same answer with the idea that, he's doing wonderfully.
What's it like to have the 9 other schools here as well? I mean, it's, not that you're too worried about the success of other programs to a point, but this is beneficial for them, tying it to the biggest university in the state.
Yeah, what we did is we recognized some, but rarely are we going to compete against the in-state member institutions, and frankly, there's a lot of great schools here. From La Tech to Nichols. It makes there's 10 quality institutions represented by our camp. It will be those coaches that take back information from this camp. There'll be those coaches that show up on our campus in Baton Rouge and participate in that camp. So it's the first time that we've partnered with other schools in a camp season, and I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think certain guys are going to be LSU style of guys, and I think it's going to fall very comfortably to some other very deserving, very quality institutions in the state.
Les, I know you still